back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about 5 tips for beginner beauty photographers, and I've had a lot of questions about starting with beauty photography, and it's not the easiest genre to necessarily find a lot of information on, so I really want to help you guys out today by giving you a few of my tips on how to start. So I'm going to talk about this as more of a transition video because I think a lot of people have started photography initially and then they want to make that transition into beauty, whether it's fashion that they've really tried out initially or maybe even commercial photography, and they really just want to hone their skills in on that subgenre of beauty. So I want to talk to you guys about a few ways that I think helped me in terms of really starting to move into that direction. My first tip would actually be to experiment with macro photography, because beauty is not actually just about your portraits, it's about really close-up angles as well and compositions. So it's really exciting to try something new with macro photography. I feel you can be very creative with it, and I think this helps with having some interesting makeup or having something that stands out on the face that you can really hone in on. And eyes are usually a really good one to do for experimenting with different compositions, and lips as well for beauty. So definitely look into experimenting with macro photography, because that's going to give you a different angle automatically to your work and really show that you're looking at doing beauty photography and stuff that's up close. My next tip would be to find a makeup artist in your area that is very interested in doing beauty photography, because I feel there's a lot of different makeup artists out there and there's a lot of different people who like to do different types of makeup. Beauty is a very specialized style of makeup because of the way that the skin has to look, and particularly the eyebrows as well. And I've often found that through working with so many different people and so many different makeup artists in the past, some makeup artists are better off at doing makeup for bridal in particular, and bridal makeup is very, very different to beauty. The skin has to be very, very different with beauty, and I think that's a really hard thing to master. So I think it's very good to find someone who's interested in beauty at least, and that can bend their skills to work in this realm and maybe work off your direction a little bit if you have to give it. There's really good collaborative work that can come out with finding that makeup artist that has that interest that you do as well, and if you can work with them on several occasions, you could really start to get a good flow going with your work as well. So definitely a tip that I would recommend. My third tip would be to experiment with studio lighting and shoot at home, or find a cheap small space to shoot in if it needs to be within a city or somewhere else outside of the home. Now, the reason I do recommend this is because I know it's hard for beginners to always invest a lot of money into studio lighting equipment or to hiring studios, which can be very expensive. And hence, when I started doing more beauty photography, most of it was at home in my spare room. And I just set up a very basic setup and had everything there so I could constantly work on my beauty photography. From day to day, I was organizing shoots, and it was really easy that way. And I know when I still go into the city, into Sydney, to go in and photograph beauty, I just find a very small space that's available and something that's a bit on the cheaper side, and I bring my own equipment that's quite portable. So I think there's always ways to get around investing too much money into day rates for studios, which can sometimes, I know in Sydney, it can be between $600 and $1,000 a day, and it's just very hard to work with that consistently, with that figure. So I think, yeah, definitely look at shooting at home and experimenting at home, because it will make you feel a little bit more comfortable too in experimenting if you're new to studio lighting as well. And you can kind of have a little bit more control at home necessarily than you might if you were out at a studio somewhere. My next tip would be to experiment with one light to start off with. And I truly think that this is all you need to start off as a beauty photographer, is one light. And I know professionals that still just use one beauty dish and a reflector, and then that's their setup, and it works. It really does. I still love using just a one light setup a lot of the time for my beauty shots, and I think that most people should realize that you don't need 20 different lights for a beauty setup. It can be very simple, and you can keep it simple, and then that's going to be good for your bank account. Obviously, you're not going to be investing in too much lighting to start off with, and it's not as intimidating. It's going to be more comfortable for you to work around one light than 20. And then my last tip is actually working closely with a makeup artist for feedback on your work. And this might come at the retouching stage of your photo shoot, or maybe even during the photo shoot when you're asking the makeup artist, is this lighting right for this makeup? Because I've said this before, but there's only so much that you might potentially know about makeup and how it's meant to look. But there's a point that you get to where the makeup artist is the person who really does know how it's meant to look. So you want to make sure that the the collaboration is going well between both of you and everyone's getting what they want out of it. So I think it's good to check along the way during the photo shoot and then after in the retouching stage, is there anything you need tweaked with the makeup? Because this will help you keep it in mind for future photo shoots as well and for working with other professionals in the same field. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please click subscribe and click the notification bell so you can see all the videos that I have in future. If you guys have any tips for beginner beauty photographers, please put them in the comments section below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!